Hi, welcome to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
And I'm your ghost on the ground, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to another week of Bloodwatch, Ghosthouse.
How's it going? How are you?
I'm good. I feel crazy creatively fertile of late.
Ooh.
I've been doing a lot of different kinds of projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been both like main art in the same way that I typically work wise, but then also like both like music and writing wise. I've had a lot of different, I don't know, so something with like the eclipse and something going on has had a lot of like people knocking on my door for very different kinds of things that I haven't touched in a while, and I'm very excited about that. And it's kind of like it's an interesting time. There's a lot of change happening, and I'm not as woo as you are, but I don't know. I can feel it. Something's going on. I like it.
That's
How
good.
about you? What are you doing?
Nice feeling. I just had an electrician leave my apartment. So stuff is still. I like, speaking of woo woo, I'm about to have a witch come do a cleansing on my house because that continues. But I've talked about that so much. I don't know. I on a whim I went and bought a PS5 last weekend.
Oh,
I wanted suddenly out of nowhere to play Baldur's Gate 3. A game I don't really know anything about, but now I've given 40 hours of my life to. So that's kind of like all I've been doing, to be honest, to the point where Joel would tease me. He'll come into the room with Edie and be like, "We miss you. Please come back." It was such a weird whim because I'm not really a video game person per se, but I just woke up on a Saturday. I was like, I have to have a PS5 today and I have to play Baldur's Gate 3.
Wow, the marketing through your dreams has been so effective.
Yeah. Something happened. I don't know what it was, but yeah, so I just followed that impulse and I did it, and it's been really fun. But as a result, I kind of haven't been doing much of anything else.
Well, the best thing about having a PS5 is, if I am correct, you now have a 4K player.
Yes, I do.
And I think also region free. I don't recall. I know 4K is inherently region free, but I'll have to look at. I think PS5 is region free, but nonetheless, you now have a 4K player. If you have a 4K TV and the right hookup, you are all set for some really gorgeous discs. So
I need to look into that because I have a bunch of Blu-rays that I haven't been able to play because I don't have a region-free Blu-ray player. Like I have the British box set of the 70s Dawn of the Dead, which I bought. I didn't realize it was British when I bought it. So I haven't been able to watch that, and that's like a rare movie.
It's like, it's now that's the only way to get Dawn of the Dead, which is fucking insane.
Crazy, isn't it?
Maybe the most famous zombie movie of all time is only available as a UK import because they refuse to license it in America.
What is that? What's causing that?
The producer of the film, not George Romero, but his producer of the film, is now the rights holder. Okay. And he also owns the rights to Romero's film that he produced, Martin, the vampire movie.
Love that movie.
And he knows that they are beloved properties and would like to be financially compensated for that.
Oh. Well, wouldn't he be under... I mean, if he just released them, wouldn't he be?
He wants quite a lot of... From what I understand, he wants quite a lot of money, to the point that most places are like, nah, we'd rather not.
That's such a shame. He's actually diminishing his ability to make money off of them because as they get further away in history, they become less popular. And now no one's seeing them. No one new is seeing them. So they're just like diminishing into the sunset.
Yeah.
Because of his greed.
Yep. So anyway, he's a bit of a fool. So other than playing your game, which I sound like a parent in the 90s, you're playing your game.
I am playing my game. I did watch something cool. I actually watched this quite a while ago, but I didn't talk about it on the show. And because we're doing a found footage movie today, which we'll name in a bit, I wanted to talk about this really cool found footage movie that I watched recently, off the recommendation of my friend Andrew. I watched this movie called Horror in the High Desert, which I texted you about.
You did. I had no idea what you were talking about because you were like, because you refer to them as the movies, and I was like, I've never heard of this, and there's multiple. What? Like, what am I missing?
So it's a regional movie from Nevada. This guy made it in the COVID lockdown in 2021. It's a found footage movie it's a documentary, sort of in the style of the movie that we're going to watch today, or Lake Mungo. And it's a documentary about a missing hiker. So it's really just talking heads and like found footage. But it's all, in Nevada, which is really beautiful in that sort of punishing desert-y kind of way. And it does have supernatural elements and possibly mental illness elements. And it was really good. The acting is kind of like hit or miss a little bit because it's just locals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that great regional movie kind of way. But there is a sequel already, and I've heard that the sequel is even better and scarier.
Aren't there 3 of them?
Are there 3 of them? Oh my gosh.
I think I saw that there was 3 of them or something like that.
Wow. Well, I've heard that the second one in particular was really, really good. So I'm excited to watch that. Found footage movies are like, I do enjoy them. But it's like not one of the things that I reach toward for comfort,
Yeah, it's not like I'm never sold, but if someone's like, oh my God, it's a found footage movie, I'm like, meh. But when a found footage movie works, again, like what we're going to get into, and also like Lake Mungo, the fucking Citizen Kane of found footage movies, it's like some of the scariest and most effective stuff ever. Because if you can break down that like barrier of reality and illusion and really buy into it, they are like top tier.
And commit to the bit. You pick a format and you like
commit to it hard. That's why Lake Mungo works so well, because they take that like documentary perspective of like, this has all been assembled and from all these different sources, and they really, really stick to it. And it allows, both from a creative standpoint, you to be able to do a lot more than if it was just like the lost tapes of a camera that went into the wilderness. But it also allows it to feel more real while also admitting to the like falsehood of it.
Yeah, you can edit and stuff like that. When we covered Lake Mungo, I was like, I can't believe more found footage movies aren't done in the style of a documentary. It's just so obvious. And so I think it's so much easier to nail the premise when you do that versus like, this is a lost VHS tape or something. I just think it seems like so much easier. And the movies that I've seen now that are like that, which are 2, Horror in the High Desert and Lake Mungo, have just nailed the assignment.
Yeah.
If you didn't listen to last week's episode, this is kind of inspired by Late Night with the Devil, of course, which we had mixed feelings about. So just getting that out there. Anyway, how are you? What's been going on? Have you watched anything cool?
I'm good. I took this past weekend to head down to Anaheim to go to Knott's Berry Farm for the Boysenberry Festival. And we love Knott's Berry Farm here. We love Spooky Farm. We love Scary Farm. We love Elvira, who used to host those.
I saw her last ever show there. I felt very lucky.
Deeply jealous. Boysenberry Festival is fucking great. If you don't know, the like founders of Knott's Berry Farm invented the boysenberry, as far as I know.
Is that real? Really?
Or like someone named Boysen invented the boysenberry, didn't like grow a full crop, and so just sold the patent and the bear and the seeds to the guy who founded Knott's Berry Farm, Walter Knott or whatever. And so they're like a man-made thing, like broccoli. And they're
broccoli is man-made?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Broccoli was like crossbred between cauliflower and something else.
Holy cow. This is crazy. I love this kind of stuff. Like, did you know, this is a tangent, but just very quickly, that the reason that the banana flavored candy tastes like that is that's how bananas used to taste. It's not like that flavor is not accurate to bananas. It's that bananas used to taste like that and now they don't.
That's so weird.
Isn't that crazy? Plants are crazy.
Plants are crazy. And also Chiquita is like done war crimes. So
or it was like a particular kind of banana that would extinct or is very rare or something like that. It's like a
That's
very weird story.
that's insane. Anyway, Knott's Berry Farm's Boysenberry Fest is incredible. They put boysenberry into everything. There's like boysenberry pulled pork. There's like boysenberry mustard on like hot dogs and stuff like that. And then of course like boysenberry like slushies and freezes that are delicious. Or a boysenberry icy float with boysenberry ice cream and boysenberry icy. It's fucking psychotic. So delicious. We got boysenberry cobbler and boysenberry cobbler to go. For the entire drive back from Anaheim to Glendale. It's incredible. It's so much goddamn fun. I think I ate my body weight in pork and boysenberry. And of course, fully dressed for the like, it's a very kind of like Western ghost town theming for half the park. And a very, very like we all dressed, me and my friends that all went all dressed in very like Western garb and also purple for boysenberries. It was very, very, very fun.
That's fun.
But before that, I got to take a visit to one of my favorite theaters in Los Angeles this week that's finally reopened. The Vista Theater, which was purchased during COVID and lockdown and reopened by Quentin Tarantino. So it's like a first run movie theater companion to the New Beverly. So they're screening on 35 and 70 millimeter. And they are doing primarily first-run new release movies on brand new 35 prints, which is so fucking cool.
That's so cool.
And they have also opened a micro cinema within the Vista that screens exclusively on 16 millimeter and VHS.
Really? I had no
called
idea.
The Video Archives Movie Club.
That's so cool.
Cinema Club. It's really, really, really awesome. And their programming for this month is absolute batshit insanity. I highly recommend you go. They've got an auteur shorts night later this month where they will be screening the entirety of Spirits of the Dead, the Roger Vadim Fellini, Edgar Allan Poe. And they'll also be doing Mario Bava Midnights all month.
Wow.
It's really, really, really dope. But I got to go to the Vista proper to go see a new horror movie because apparently the theme of this month is pregnant demonic nuns. And I saw Immaculate the other week, and so this week it was time to go see the first Omen in fucking gorgeous 35 mil at the Vista, and holy shit, it's really good.
That's what I keep hearing for the most part. I mean, I've heard a couple of mixed things, but I hear on the whole that it's pretty good.
It's as someone who doesn't give two shits about the Omen as a franchise, I've seen the Gregory Peck movie from the 70s, and that's it.
I really like that old movie, but I was talking to my friend Michael about it because he just rewatched it, and I was like, "What?" In my memory as a child, that movie is like Rosemary's Baby or Don't Look Now. But when you watch it now, it's nothing of the sort.
It is nothing of the sort.
It is a fun movie, though. It's like the aesthetics are good and the vibe is good, but
it's weird. The original Omen movie is closer to like an Alan J. Pakula like political thriller from the 70s, like All the President's Men or Clute, because it's very like slow moving investigation where you're just hanging out with Gregory Peck and the villain from Time Bandits the whole time. But the like premonitions and the like Final Destination style deaths in the original movie are so good.
I mean, that nanny, I know that they recreate it because it's in the trailer, but the nanny jumping off at the kid's birthday party is truly terrifying.
So what I'll say is the first Omen 2024 does sort of nod its head to recreate 2 or 3 of the original kills from the first movie. And every single one either ups the ante quite a bit or like swerves and takes you off guard. So there's like also a car accident death. There's also a like scaffolding where something might fall and hurt someone fatally. There's all of those kinds of things that you're like, it's an Omen movie. Yeah, of course. But every single time, Arkasha Stevenson, the director, who also directed episodes of Brand New Cherry Flavor and Channel Zero and stuff like that, this is her feature debut and a $30 million horror film for
It's
fucking
big.
Fox, aka Disney. Um, she really steps up to the plate. It's so well done. Nell Tiger Free's performance is incredible. As the lead, she is truly up there with like Mia Goth and Pearl and
Wow.
Isabella Johnny in Possession. She's really going for it. It feels really naturalistic. It feels incredibly believable. And then there's also like a gaggle of like true Euro horror, like modern all stars in the cast. We get Ralph Ineson from The Witch and
Mm-hmm.
Lord of Misrule as a like kind of sleuthing priest. We also get Bill Nye, not the science guy, the British one.
Yeah.
The one who's currently dating Anna Wintour.
Anna Wintour. Weird.
And Charles Dance has a short appearance that is incredibly memorable. I think it's super, super, super fun. I love the way they depict nuns and the like choice to become a nun and the lives of nuns in this movie. It's not the like, you know, horrible oppressed like view of nuns in like every other movie. It's very like relaxed and lived in. You can understand why these women want to be nuns and stuff like that. It's really fun. It's really fucking gross. They like do show a birth, like
Whoa.
a pretty like full vaginal birth in the movie, which is something Baby Blood did not do last week. Sorry to keep beating a dead baby.
Jeez, he's already dead. Leave him alone.
Anyway, no, I loved the first Omen, and if you like the original Omen movies, or if you like Brand New Cherry Flavor, or if you like Immaculate, I would see them. I mean, first Immaculate, can we do that as a double bill instead of Barbenheimer?
Yeah, it's like Barbenheimer,
Amulet.
but both non-horror movies.
Yeah, it's a very different take on a nun conspiracy horror movie than Immaculate. It's like totally different, and I like highly recommend you do both. I think they're both fucking great.
After I saw Immaculate and I saw it this week, and I texted you that I loved it. I went onto Letterboxd to log it, and I was shocked by the low ratings for it.
It's weird.
Kind of baffled.
It's like
so good. It's objectively good.
I feel like amongst horror people, it's got pretty good ratings. But Sydney Sweeney's a big star from Euphoria, and is pulling in a lot of like non-horror people, and they're having mixed reactions to it because it's very like sleazy Euro horror in the latter half of it. And I don't think most people are ready for that. I loved it. I love the choice at the end. I love the choice at the end.
Me too. I loved it. I thought they were going to back out for a second, and they didn't. And I was like, mwah. Perfect.
Let me just say, that end scene sure does rock.
It does rock. It does rock. Speaking of Pearl, how about that Maxxxine trailer that dropped?
Okay, yeah, we never talk about trailers, but holy shit, the trailer for Maxxxine, holy fucking shit.
Yes. It was like, really, it was like an orgasm.
The movie cannot come soon enough. All the music choices, the fucking cast. I didn't know half the people were going to be in that cast, and every single time it showed like Kevin Bacon or more people, my jaw kept hitting the floor. It looks
salivating,
truly incredible. And I cannot wait. It is giving shades of Brian De Palma, of Body Double, of Crimes of Passion, of Mute Witness. It's giving so many things, and I'm so excited about it. Like Elizabeth Debicki directing a horror movie in the 80s. Yes, fucking please. Like, that could be a whole movie on its own, like The Souvenir. But I just, as like an 80s slasher, like as soon as they brought in like Richard Ramirez too, my jaw hit the floor. Like, there's so much going on, and it's just a trailer. I cannot wait to see that movie.
I can't wait. There's no universe where that is not an incredible movie. I just know it. I can feel it.
They brought in the fucking Psycho House. Like,
I know. It's so good.
Ty West is swinging for the fences.
Does that mean that because it's set in the 80s, does that mean it's the set of Psycho 2?
Potentially. Well, it's the Universal backlot at minimum.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is the Psycho set still standing, the original one? Is that the thing? Oh, okay.
I believe the Psycho set that's on the Universal backlot as of right now, 2024, with the Bates Motel and the house. I believe that's the original set that's the still 60s.
There. Okay. I was like, are they on the set of Psycho 2 here? Which is also great. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I really hope they get like Brian De Palma or something like that to do a little cheeky cameo. That would be so fun. Amazing. Like have Brian De Palma play a studio head or some shit like that, or like a sleazy like tabloid photographer.
Amazing. Or Isabel Adjani or something like that would be good.
It's so good. I can't wait.
Speaking of greatness, we've got a great one today. I did check that Drusilla liked this movie before I got on to record this because I'm so shell-shocked from Baby Blood. So I feel warranted in praising this in the intro. This is a British mockumentary from 1992, directed by Leslie Manning, Ghostwatch.
On Saturday night, we'll be visiting the most haunted house in Britain. But will the ghosts be there? Can you take it?
Ghostwatch, a Screen One special for Halloween. Saturday at 9:25 on One.
I really love this movie. I saw it for the first time in pandemic during lockdown. Former guest Dylan Dawson, for those 2 years when you couldn't go anywhere, would have like movie marathons on Halloween done virtually. And this was one of them. So I saw this on Halloween of 2020 in Palm Springs, where I was, hiding out for a while. And I loved it. And everyone that was with me loved it. But you just saw it for the podcast. So I was a little bit nervous. Like, I wonder if Drusilla will like this.
This is like directly up my alley. Even before it got to the spook 'em ups, I was having a blast. This is, I should also point out, this has been maybe one of the most requested titles by listeners that we've possibly ever had. We get like Instagram messages and emails frequently about this movie,
which is funny because I don't think of this. I don't really think, not that it matters, but
as a movie,
as like an art house horror movie.
That's fair. I can understand that.
It was made for TV, which doesn't necessarily disqualify it, but it doesn't.
We've done movies made for TV before.
It's true. It's true.
I think this qualifies in the same way that it's like it's formally experimental. And it's like breaking with convention and like pushing what the boundaries of film medium can do, not unlike what the Orson Welles' The World's Radio Broadcast did back in the 30s. I consider that to be experimental. It's like the entire like pitch and design of it is to take you under its spell and act as if it's happening to you as well. Which I think is fucking genius.
So
I mean,
cool.
they even tried to embed a like high frequency pitch during the program so that people's dogs and cats would freak out at home while watching it, which they couldn't do because British Broadcasting at the time had like broadcast like limits that like you couldn't it like
didn't work.
Yeah, like DB limits, you physically could not do it. But like it's entirely designed and pitched to make you think that this is like it's leaking out of your TV essentially, which I consider this like in the most like mainstream way to be an experimental film.
It is actually. You're right about incredible. That. Well, that's a good segue into like giving a top line synopsis of this. Basically, essentially, they used real news presenters and television presenters to create a Halloween special that was meant to feel, and seemingly did feel by the 1 million calls that the BBC got, like they were touring an actually haunted house. And it's not Gothic. This is an estate house somewhere in the suburbs of London, which means that it's like government subsidized housing of some sort. So it's just a very plain lower middle class house, a mom and two daughters without a dad in the picture. And so you're cutting back and forth between the studio where the presenter has like an expert on paranormal stuff, and of course the skeptic, you got to have them, and then you're going back to the house where like the cute blonde presenter is spending time with the mom and the kids, and then you've got people outside sort of doing crowd work, and they cut it all together, and it's very scary, and it really does feel like a real news show. And it really frightened people in 1992. They got 1 million calls, and it was very controversial. There was sort of developmentally disabled man who committed suicide 5 days after this, and it seemed to be tied to this in some way. So it really did achieve the kind of War of the Worlds effect that it was after. So that's kind of the top line, right?
And as of now, 32 years later, it has not been played on British Airways ever since.
That's so crazy. It's so
they ran it one time. It has since, of course, developed a big cult following and has been released on like myriad of home video releases since VHS and back in 1998 in England and abroad. It only got its official US release here like 2 years ago or some shit like that.
Yeah, I never heard of this growing up. I only saw it in 2020.
Yeah, it started to build word of mouth here in the States around I feel like 2018, 2017, and it started popping up around like Shudder and things like that. But because it was a BBC program, it was produced for Channel 1, for Player 1 or whatever. And that stuff doesn't really make it to America really, because it's very like it's seen as kind of insular and cultural. But it's also funny because like around the time that Ghostwatch kind of like came to the America's consciousness and out here and started like leaking its way onto streaming and stuff like that, and eventually disc, I feel like a lot more Americans now are consuming British talk show content anyway, with stuff like 8 out of 10 Cats and Countdown and all that stuff.
And even like Love Island, frankly, you know,
making it over here and becoming kind of like more or less mainstream due to both like the advent of streaming and also like a lot of the stuff being pirated and just slapped up on YouTube. A lot of people I know, especially in my age demographic, watch like Big Fat Quiz of the Year with Jimmy Carr, like, and no more British like comedians and talk show hosts than they do American comedians talk show hosts.
Yeah, my friend group is obsessed with this British game show called Taskmaster.
I'm obsessed with Taskmaster.
It's
Zach
so
Ogle
fun.
and I are both like, we both found out that we were getting obsessed with it at the same time.
Me and Christian Tucci and Steve Yockey are all obsessed with it. Listener, if you don't know Taskmaster, go on. You can watch it on YouTube. It is just such a delight, and I love it. Christian was thinking about having a Taskmaster themed birthday party.
I would go.
That sounds so fun.
That sounds like the best thing ever. Well, it's also really amazing because you'll see like British comedians who get their start on shows like that and like will do those circuits for like years and years and years, are now like breaking into the mainstream. James Acaster, who's a big British comedian who's done Taskmaster and stuff like that, is in the new Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
In a big role. Like, it's crazy. It's really, really cool. But I feel like the cross-pollination of both of those things kind of happened around the same time.
Yeah.
Here in like kind of more or less mainstream US consciousness. I think it also helped that like UK shows like IT Crowd and Black Books and Toast of London and stuff like that were like making it onto streaming like conventionally in the US, that also like sparked people's interest in a lot of these performers. And then it has people digging back to shows like Red Dwarf that Craig Charles from Ghostwatch is on.
My parents were obsessed with Red Dwarf when I was little. And I thought of it a lot during this movie in terms of like how movies are consumed internationally, because you couldn't see Red Dwarf. Like it was a thing that you heard about. And once a year, PBS would play a Red Dwarf marathon to raise money for PBS, like during their drive. And that was the only way that you could see Red Dwarf. And my parents were obsessed with it. And it was like a big deal in our house. And I was also remembering how Absolutely Fabulous when it first came to the United States. It had been a huge hit in the UK, and Comedy Central made a huge deal about being like, we are doing an Absolutely Fabulous marathon for these 2 days. Watch it now. This is the only time you will ever be able to see this show. And of course, we'd heard about it, but we'd never been able to see it. It's just like the world was so much smaller then, in a way.
Yeah. I remember similar things like when Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz came out, everyone was like, oh, but you should watch Spaced. That show is so good. All of those guys came from that. And it was impossible to track down. You had to like pirate it or torrent it or have a friend who had like DVDs of it or something like that. It's really amazing how much all that stuff has kind of started to leak out of out to the colonies over here. And Ghostwatch is one of the single best things that
so good.
England has been keeping secret from us for so long. It is so freaking good. And it's the writer Stephen Volk is like so freaking talented. Got some bona fides. And the director of the special, Leslie Manning, does such an incredible job. She really only did like British television before this, and then didn't work for a couple of years after this. Only got a bit more British television work, and then, as far as I know, has like only been doing a handful of short films in the past 5 or 10 years, which is very unfortunate because the directing of the special is really incredible. Very good.
She also, it turns out, she's not credited, but she did the voice of Pipes in the movie.
Yeah.
She didn't like the voiceover actors, so she's like, I'm just going to do this myself.
She's also one of the Collins, too.
Oh, is she? That makes sense. Stephen Falk wrote one of your favorites, Ken Russell's Gothic. Have you ever seen The Guardian?
I've not. It's William Friedkin, right?
Yes. It's
oh my god,
very campy and bad, but worth a watch. He was inspired by this old BBC special that I've seen called The Stone Tapes, which is like a classic folk horror tale. This actually has very subtle folk horror elements that I guess we'll get to, but he seems to be like a folk horror guy. Like everything he's written basically has some version of that. He was inspired by the Stone Tapes, and also Don't Look Now by Nicholas Roeg was his other like, this is why I want to be a screenwriter kind of thing.
I know that one of the major influences over a lot of the setup and plotting of this special was the like 1970s Enfield poltergeist incident as well.
Yes, which is also the inspiration for The Conjuring 2 for all of my franchise babies out there.
So if you're ever watching Ghostwatch and you're like, man, this is very similar plot-wise to Conjuring 2, there's a reason.
Yeah. So I guess the story within the story is that there's like a single mom who lives with her 2 daughters. One is a young teenager named Susanna, and then I can't remember the other girl's name, but she's younger. And they have been tormented by a ghost that they call Pipes, because the ghost, makes a lot of noise, and the mom told them that's the Pipes. So the little girl started calling him Pipes. Pipes is here, which is a terrifying like story choice to me. Like that's so creepy already.
It's Suzanne and Kim, by the way, the Early family.
Kim, thank you. So Susanna is being tormented, especially he leaves scratches all over her. The paranormal expert back at the studios has been working with this family before the special. She feels like the ghost is surrounding Susanna somehow or somehow attached to them. But through the calls, people gradually reveal the history of the house and how dark and evil and twisted it is. And it even suggests a little bit subtly that maybe there is something evil or wrong about the spot where the house stands. So even before the house was there, there was something up. So really interesting setup. Pipes is really scary. I told you when we announced this last episode to scan the crowd scenes. Did you see Pipes in the crowd?
So you told me that, and I watched it with Ivory. We put it on at like 11 o'clock at night. We put it on as late as possible to really get in the mood. And I will say, like, both of us were really tired when we started it, and Ivory was kind of a little like not like doing her best to like acclimate with the pace of it at the beginning, but by the end was like terrified.
It's scary.
And I was getting very upset myself. But I imparted what you said about scanning the crowd scenes to her, and so frequently throughout it we were like looking for stuff and even like stopping it and rewinding it and looking for stuff, and we didn't see pipes in the crowd scenes. And then the next morning I hopped on my phone and went looking it up, and I was like, oh my god, there he is. Fuck, shit, oh Christ. We missed that. We got Lake Mungoed again. Oh god. I know fans of this movie have like kind of like officially spotted 8 pipes sightings.
But I only saw 2, I think, maybe 3.
Leslie Manning has said that there's upwards of 13 in the movie. So there's a good amount unaccounted for. I caught quite a few on my first watch through of the movie, which was very exciting for us because it's both very scary and also it's like a fun little mystery game to like spot pipes. There's a scene in the kind of kitchen of the house later on where a bunch of children's drawings are laid out where I noticed pipes in the reflection of the glass door. Which is very upsetting. And then one of the best ones that Ivory and I both like noticed and jumped from is like they go upstairs to the girls' bedroom a little bit later in the special, and the girls are in there, and it pans across the room, and the curtains are like dark red, and Pipes is like in a matching red against it, which was really, really great. One that Ivory caught that I didn't was later near the end of the program when there's a lot of static starts taking over and the transmission seems to come in and out. There's like flash frames of like a close-up on Pipes in the static that's like really like single frame kind of stuff.
Like
and Ivory
and The Exorcist kind of.
Yeah, and Ivory caught those and was like very quickly unnerved, like like jumped out of her seat. There's also when the paranormal expert kind of wheels out the reel to reel to play back the audio from her sessions, and the lights dim as they're listening to it. Pipes appears behind her and is like sitting there and lingering the whole time. It's really upsetting. There's so many of them. It's so good. But there's a lot of other things going on in the background too, and all of those like whip pans. There's so many different mirrors throughout the like family's house that like you're constantly like audiences that are eagle-eyed like us are going to be looking in there anyway. And they even like they have the daughters doing stuff in the background back there too, because there's also the like hoax angle of maybe the kids are just like faking this, and they do catch one of the girls with a hammer banging on the pipes at one point. And the guy from Red Dwarf is like hiding in a cupboard at one point to like fuck with them, and so they wouldn't be able to lean on the skepticism as much. So like a lot of that's also going on in the background. So there's a lot to look for, and it's very, very, very engaging. I also love the studio setup with like the call banks, and then they also have the little like little pedestals set up around the set for them to like walk between and have little bits of evidence to point to. It feels like a Bill Nye the Science Guy special.
Yeah.
And like the video wipes were like state of the art at the time, but it all just feels like very cozy, like early 90s, like children's TV to a lot of degree. And I want to say Sarah Green, who's the host that's in the house, was a children's presenter. No, she was. And all of these people were basically, they were very well-known media people. So it would be like if we made this today with like, I don't know, Wendy Williams or something. You know what I mean? Like people that everyone knows from television. And that's part of what sold it as like being real and also really upset people. Michael Parkinson, apparently the main host of the special, who was a TV host for years and years, apparently didn't tell his elderly mother about it. And she was one of the people who called in the BBC freaking out. Oh no.
It's so good. How about the stories that? So this is a little bit. There's maybe a point in here that will be controversial, which we should talk about. But the backstory basically is that there was a pedophile living in the house who believed. Well, it's sort of a nesting doll of a story. Actually,
it's a nesting doll. We don't get that. Yeah, we get another one first.
Before that, there was a Victorian woman who, was a childminder, but actually murdered children. And then later in the 1960s, there was this pedophile who lived there who believed he was possessed by that woman and ended up killing himself by hanging himself in the crawl space beneath the stairs and was partially eaten by cats, which is why they hear the cat noises. But they lay a lot of it on him dressing up in women's clothes, and that's the thing about Pipes, is that he's wearing like a long dress. So it does feel a little bit transphobic, in that classic old chestnut way that horror movies so often have been transphobic.
Yeah. My takeaway on this is that I don't feel like the film itself is being transphobic. However, I will also note that this came out and was made in 1992. That is 1 year after Silence of the Lambs, which did a lot for that, unfortunately. Just take a look at Ace Ventura. But I will also say, what I like so much about the way that this movie plays with the idea of lore is that it's all Collins. None of that is presented by the parapsychologist. None of that is presented by the family that's living in the house. It's all presented by people that are calling in after the special has already been going. And all of them are repeating kind of folk stories that they've heard their whole lives. So the first one about the childminder that murdered kids is like, oh, my grandmother used to tell us that, like, if we're not good, that she's gonna get us, she's gonna kill us. And then I found out that she was real and lived over there. And that's like conjecture. That's folklore. We don't know. There's no way of knowing that's true. And then on top of that, there's the story about the pedophile who was renting a room in the house from his aunt and uncle. And like that can be looked up, and like maybe that was a real person, but they don't have evidence of that because they can't prove that anyone was renting a room because it was illegal to do that in council housing because that's public housing. So there's no way to prove that. And all of the little like touchstones about that, about like, about the cats and about the crawl space and all that stuff could be a folk horror story that already exists, but it also like matches what's happening in the special, and it's very easy for someone to like take elements of things they've heard throughout their life, fit it together in what they're watching, and then want to be a part of what they're watching to amp it up or to joke with their friends. So we don't know if that's real or not. And then also, like, we get so many descriptions of Pipes from differing sources of people that are calling in that think they saw something in the background of the broadcast early on, or from the kids and stuff like that. And it's always described as like an older man, or some people see it as an older woman, but they always see a disfigured face, and they always see a more or less bald head, and they always see like a long black garment. And so some people describe that as a dress, some people describe it as a jacket, and so it's like intentionally muddies. And so some people refer to Pipes as a man, some people refer to Pipes as a woman, and I think it just is intentionally muddying the presentation of what Pipes is, because it is different people's perceptions of just a general ghost and whether or not a ghost is real or not.
I mean, he kind of looks like Uncle Fester. I mean, that's the garment, that's the look. I think you're being very charitable.
I mean, maybe potentially, but like me, like watching it, I didn't for a second see in all the things of Pipes that we saw, see their look as being dressed as a woman, even a little bit. I didn't even see them as being in a dress at any point.
No, nor did I. But I did think the choice and the way they talked about it was probably rooted in cultural transphobia at the time. But what I was going to say
absolutely is.
is like I sort of am able to forgive it because it's so small and it is a relic of a different time, and it's not actively doing harm the way that some transphobic media is today. So it's just sort of one of those unfortunate things from the past that you kind of have to shrug your shoulders about, because it's not egregious enough to ruin the movie for me personally. But I did think it was like, oh, this is probably rooted in the transphobic culture of England in 1990.
Yeah. And I think it's also a mixture of like, because in the same way that like Sleepaway Camp or Dress to Kill or like Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, like root things in that as a way to unnerve the audience, as like it's or the same way they've talked about with The Sentinel, Michael Winner's movie, using like people with like malformed parts of their body to portray demons and stuff like that, just using something that's a little off, just slightly different to like vaguely upset people. And it's like a bad choice from a modern lens, but it's like unfortunately something that horror has leaned on for a very long time. But I don't think it's anywhere near as bad what other things have done with the exact same premise. Insidious 2 uses the exact same concept of like, it's a ghost, and they think it's a woman, but it turns out it's a serial killer who's like, their ghost is being haunted by it's like a double layer ghost thing like that too. And one of them's a trans woman or something like that, or in the parlance of the movie is a crossdresser or something. And like, it's like a lot more shown and it's a lot more literal, and that's fucking heinous. And that was made in like 2012 or some shit like that.
It's a lot harder.
That's a lot worse. And every like at every level of that's a lot worse.
Apologies for the lawnmower if you can hear it. I can't do anything about it. It's someone mowing their lawn.
I can't, but nonetheless.
This movie scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I think it's very scary and effective.
I think it's like almost too believable. And I think a lot of that has to do with the choice of the performers and how well they're playing it, because they're very jovial and they're very funny and they're very relatable to the whole first 2/3 of the special. And as soon as things start hitting the fan, you can understand every choice that they're making. You understand why they take the barrier off of the glory hole, which is the euphemism they use. It's unfortunate for the crawl space under the stairs. And you can also understand later on when like the signal cuts out and comes back, and then they're all just like sitting around the table again, and everyone in the studio audience is like, oh, I guess it's back, but everyone is still very unnerved. It does such a good job of ratcheting up the tension, and also like letting your imagination do a lot of the work, because the way that it ends, you don't know the fate of at least 4 of the characters.
I thought the end was interesting. I'm not 100% sold on the last like 10 minutes of the movie, although they're really fun and cool. But basically the idea is that unwittingly this show has basically participated in a nationwide seance. So basically everyone...
This is one of my favorite parts of it. I
think it's a cool idea. So basically by airing this, they have like sent this into the homes of everyone watching, which is cool. But like when wind is blowing around in the studio and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm not sure about this, but I still kind of love it anyway. I don't know, but that's how it ends. It's a really cool, interesting idea. And, I don't know what else to say about this movie.
I love that sequence of it when Mike Smith, who is actually married to Sarah Green, who's the presenter in the home, at the beginning when he was like, there's no way you could get me in that house, I'm much safer here in the studio. He says it like 3 times and I'm like, it's come to the studio, dude. It's like oh my god.
I loved the actress who was like the paranormal expert. I thought her work was so lovely and subtle, and
she's really good. And I love watching very, very slowly throughout it when she starts to like lose the thread, when she starts to lose confidence in what's going on. She does such a great job of playing that.
She looks like Helen Hunt to me. In the face, she looks like Helen Hunt.
I can kind of see that. I saw that while reading some of the trivia and stuff about this special, that she was friends and had worked with Dame Judi Dench before, and that after they wrapped this and they had like a big after party after it was aired, she had a voicemail on her, a message on her voicemail when she got home from Dame Judi Dench, saying that she had been really enjoying Ghostwatch, and then she ruined it for her because she recognized her friend and knew she wasn't a parapsychologist and knew it was all fake. It is also funny. I don't know if it's an urban legend or if it was true, but it's reported that this was one of Rue McClanahan's favorite specials.
I love that. So we've got two Have They Seen It? We know that Judi Dench and Rue McClanahan have seen and loved Ghostwatch.
And you know what? No one can take that away from me. I firmly believe that is just facts. Sorry.
Yeah.
These facts don't care about your feelings, people. I'm so sorry.
Well, let's pivot and play our favorite game, Have They Seen It? Where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen the movie. We know Rue McClanahan has, and we know that Judi Dench has. Do you think Helen Hunt has seen this? Since I just brought her up.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
I don't see Helen Hunt engaging with a lot of British media or horror stuff.
No,
I could be wrong.
I don't think so. It was a bad one. Move on. Who do you
have? Well, since we were both talking about Taskmaster, one of England's greatest exports, do you think that the Taskmaster himself, Greg Davies, has seen Ghostwatch?
Yes, I think so, because he's British. He's a presenter. He would have been I think he would have been in his 20s in the 90s. I think he would have seen it. I think he would have really liked this movie.
Yeah, I'm sure. I am so jealous of people who got to see this, like, in their like teens or something like that, watching this on television.
Incredible.
I would have lost my freaking mind. Apparently, from what I read, it was aired on Halloween night around like 10 o'clock or something like that, after the quote unquote 9 p.m. watershed, when like kids go to bed and stuff like that, when they can do more adult content at night. Apparently ITV, an opposing channel, had been playing a horror movie for Halloween night, and it kind of like, because British television isn't like locked down to the hour the way American television is. Like shows will start at like 9:53, the next round of this quiz show. Like it'll like, they're more odd times. Whatever like Halloween movie that ITV was playing that evening ended like 20 or 30 minutes into Ghostwatch, and so people hopped over to that, so they missed all of the opening to Ghostwatch, which like declared it as being fictional, having a written by credit and all that stuff like that. And so a lot more people bought into it because of that than they ever planned to.
That makes sense.
Which is, cool.
I was 11 when this came out, and of course I was American, so I had no idea. But like, if I were British and saw this as an 11-year-old, I would have been completely floored and obsessed. I can tell you that.
I mean, being like a full adult, knowing that it's fake and having no prior history with any of these presenters, it's still scary as hell.
It's so scary. It's very believable. I'm trying to think of like American presenters. Do you think that... Oh, this is an interesting one. Creator and host of the history podcast, You Must Remember This. Do you think that Karina Longworth has seen Ghostwatch? Better help Fatty Arbuckle with her splashy teas. Karina Longworth.
I think she has. I think Karina Longworth has really great taste for horror. I mean, she did an entire like season of her podcast on Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi, and she is also married to murder mystery filmmaking impresario Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
I feel like they watch a lot of British television, and I feel like they watch a lot of murder mysteries in Columbo and stuff like that. And I would not be surprised if Ghostwatch is a like Halloween staple in their house.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I agree.
I feel like I feel like she would love this. I want to hear an entire season length run of You Must Remember This on the history of Ghostwatch.
Ghostwatch, get on it, Karina.
I would freaking love it. like, I'm absolutely certain that Mike Flanagan has seen this. I'm absolutely certain that David Desmalchian has seen
100%.
this. I'm absolutely certain that Edgar Wright has seen this. There's so
Mhm.
many like really, really obvious ones. So I'm trying to think of like other hoaxes that would get into this. And there is at least one kind of cultural osmosis hoax that was probably not propagated by this person, but there certainly was a large hoax around this person that was culturally believed for at least a bit of a time. And this person's also British. So there's the possibility that he may have watched it when it aired. Do you think that Sir Paul McCartney, who is not dead, despite much media acclaim around it, has seen Ghostwatch?
I think he has. I mean, there's not a lot of channels in 1992 in the UK. You know, the BBC One, ITV. I don't know how many. I'm not British. What do I know? But I think there's like just a handful, right? Most people don't have cable. I don't. Maybe they have cable by then. Who knows? But yeah, I think he would have been up, you know, in his fancy pants house watching Ghostwatch on Halloween night for sure. He's already too old to be going out to parties. He's my age now then. So he's like just in bed, relaxing in his California king size bed in London. So I think for sure. What do you think?
I feel like Paul has like a weird like horror streak. I feel like he
especially
could get
old
really
horror movies.
Yeah, I feel like he and George Harrison absolutely have seen this. I feel like George Harrison, like big peace loving hippie that he is, absolutely probably also had a horror streak. I feel like Ringo Starr, No Way in Hell. I feel like Ringo Starr and John Lennon didn't have a tolerance for horror movies for different reasons. I feel like John Lennon probably had a very like snobby, turn his nose up at it, like mass populist hypnosis kind of bullshit about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ringo is just entirely too afraid to deal with it. But I feel like Paul McCartney has a mean streak that we culturally don't know about. That he loves horror movies. He's very funny. And I also feel like George Harrison absolutely loved horror movies. Again, I have no evidence for this.
None whatsoever. It's all vibes based. I feel like Paul and George probably like old Hammer horror movies, you know, because they grew up watching those on telly. So I think for sure.
I have one final ask, and I'm also thinking about British television that both is like faking and spoofing horror. I don't know if you've seen, but one of my favorite 90s UK horror comedy related things is a short series called Dr. Terrible's House of Horrible.
No, I've never seen that. I've heard so much about it over the years.
You would love it. Every episode is kind of a parody either of like Amicus movies or Hammer movies or all of those, or kind of like the Tygon kind of folk horror witch hunter movies and stuff like that. And it was created by and starred Steve Coogan.
I love Steve
Coogan. Do you think Steve Coogan has seen Ghostwatch?
Absolutely. I think he's seen Ghostwatch. I think he's seen the Stone Tapes. I think he's seen Robin Redbreast. I think he's seen like all of those British television plays that are about folk horror.
I feel like he loves stuff like this. I mean, he plays with form and stuff like that so much. And like faking reality characters of things. I mean, that's what The Trip is all about too.
I love The Trip.
I love it. I love this movie so much. I love 24-Hour Party People. Anything he does with Michael Winterbottom is just so cozy and lovely to me.
Do you think that Steve Coogan is like a little bit handsome?
I think Steve Coogan is very handsome. What are you talking about?
I think he is too, but I just feel like I've been shamed about that before.
There was like a point in time in the mid 2000s when he was a bit more like kind of frumpy presenting. He kind of had like longer like hair. And I feel like when he was on like Curb Your Enthusiasm or like Tropic Thunder and stuff like that, there was a kind of like, I don't know. But like him and Owen Wilson around that time. I mean, Owen Wilson has always been hot, is still very hot. But Steve Coogan, like, he's got a specific different kind of hot. I mean, do I think Alan Partridge is hot? I don't know. His great TV presenter character. But Coogan himself is very hot. I think Steve Coogan is wonderful. And now he's kind of matured into his, like, soft dramatic comedies age. Like, he just did that, like, Richard III movie. And, like, Philomena kind of really, like, changed the trajectory of his career. But I miss his weird, mean stuff.
Me too. That's it for this episode of Bloodhaus. If you liked it, please rate it. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram. Drusilla, where can people sneak into your house? That doesn't work at all. What are your social medias? I shouldn't try to play your game.
You can find me and my artwork over at sisterhidedesign.com, where my new poster for Late Night with the Devil is up on my website. And I recently saw that David Dastmalchian was signing prints of it over at the Overlook Festival down in New Orleans.
Cool.
As his character, Captain Fearless, Count Fearless. I love that man so much. He's so adorable. I hope to get assigned one of that myself. You can also follow me on Instagram at Hyde Sister, and if you look for Sister Hyde or Drusilla Adeline on Letterboxd, you can find me over there, and you can find what I thought of Speed and Point Break. What about you, Josh? How can people perform a live seance from afar with you?
I'm at Joshua Conkel on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Letterboxd. It's a good thing we've been talking so much about folk horror, because we've got one of the iconic folk horror titles coming up next week. Mm-hmm. What is it?
I am of late with Bloodhaus, I've been crossing really, really big ones off of my watch list, and that's one of my favorite things to do with the show, so thank you for that. We are staying in England, we're turning the clocks back, we're heading to the 1970s, we are revisiting one of the actors from a previous 70s movie that we did on the show that we both loved very dearly. And we are going to be needing to wash our hands quite a bit, because I believe there is going to be some blood on Satan's claws.
Can't wait. Bye, everyone.